Mm. Hi guys, welcome back. So today I want us to talk about my experience inside the IELTS hall. I know I've talked about the whole experience, like, generally, but I've not really talked about what happened inside the hall. Nothing special happened anyway, but just to give you a glimpse into how it is like when you're actually sitting in the hall for a first time taker now, like first time test taker. But you might be tense, you might be like, I don't know what to expect there, anxious and all of that. So giving you the story, the gist about, the whole process from, getting on that very test day, getting inside the hall, actually doing the test and coming and how it was like. So I'm going to be giving you the gist about that. Keep watching. Cool So welcome back, guys. So like I said, my IELTS experience now. Okay, what happened that day? I was living in the city where I took the exam, where I took the test. So there was no need for me to book a hotel or something, like sleep the night in anything, anywhere or something. So I was living in the city. I literally just had to take a bus like down to the street, like the street it was in Benin then. And I got dressed very early in the morning. I made sure that I was there like at least 1 hour before it started. I was already in the venue 1 hour before it started. The test was being conducted in a hotel. Like, well, we had to come from outside to come into the hotel. So we got there. I met other people sitting there already waiting. Like some people have been there since like 5 a.m., 4 a.m. thingy. Like I was discussing with somebody and said they've been there like, so I was like, Jesus Christ. Now, I mean, not this serious with my life. You guys, like, you're not joking though. Like 4 5 a.m. before the dawn of the day. It was really, really, at that point I started getting scared. Like, okay, the way I'm handling this exam now, like the way I'm handling this test, hope I'm safe. You understand? So we were eventually called into the hall. They started checking our passports one after the other, started checking and making sure that we came with the right documents, which is our international passport, and checking it to make sure it's valid, it's not expired and all of that. And then they took our bags and kept it in a safe place. And we only took out our passport and, what we needed out of it. They gave us writing materials. They gave us pencil, sharpener, eraser, and all of that because we weren't allowed to take in our own. I don't know if any other test center will be different, but that was what happened with our own. And we entered the hall, we were seated, like there was space. I don't know if it was because of the fact that it was during the COVID period that there was such spacing, like distance, but I'm guessing it's both of them. It's both ways. Like, it's not just because of the COVID. It's also because of the fact that they want to curb cheating. So there was like reasonable distance between each candidate. So like almost 6 feet. Almost 6 feet distance. So there was reasonable distance between each candidate, and every malam to him every malam to Iketu, like everybody had their own table, their own chair, and you are allowed to take in your water bottle as well. So if you have water, you feel you need to be drinking water every now and then. They usually encourage that you take in your, they advise you taking your water bottle because at some point you might feel dehydrated. You're also allowed to go and pee at intervals. If you feel like you're pressed, you're allowed to, pause your exam and go and pee and come back. There's camera everywhere. They're also watching you, and the toilet is just like opposite the hall you're taking the exam. So there is no way that cheating would be possible in that aspect. So you're allowed to pee, you're allowed to drink water, you're allowed to take your water in. And before we started the exam, they gave us a hint, like this is how the exam is going to be like, that these are the different sections, the listening, the writing, the reading, and the speaking, that these are the times allocated to each section. And this is what is expected of us, that we'll be given the headphone to put in our head during the listening session, and everybody is going to be given the same thing to listen to. Like everybody's listening to it at the same time. So once they start it, they've started it. There is no way you can tell them that, okay, excuse me, ma, pause it, I want to go and pee and come back. It's not allowed. It's not possible. You understand? Once that recording is started for you, for the IELTS listening, once it started for you to start listening to, it started. Yeah, it can't be paused. You understand? It can't be paused. So you have to just listen till the end, because every other person is listening to it as well. Just that, it's not loud. It's just your own headphone to yourself. Like you have the headphone to yourself. You are the only one hearing your own, but every other person is hearing their own as well. So it starts. Once it starts until it finishes, there's no pausing, there's no breaking. You have to be listening to it and taking down notes and answering the questions as you go along. I'm sure by this stage you know what IELTS listening is all about. You know the tricks and all of that. So know that as you're listening to the recording, you're putting down your answers. If you find out that there is no answer in a period of a long period, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you've not seen any answer to pick, for you not to miss it, because the answer might be there, you don't know. Just try to put down notes somewhere in a little paper by the side. You get something, like you get a space for you to write down, maybe in your question paper. Try to put down points. Like for instance, in the listening, the person is saying, okay, Ali traveled to Lagos 2 days ago and was hit by a car, by Lexus car and something like that, and you know that thing is not in the question that they've asked you at the moment. Just put down some points like Lexus car, Lagos, travel to Lagos, like something like that. Put it down, because you might need it later. You might come back and see that, okay, this is the answer to what I was looking for, just for you to remember, all these things and continue. You have to be very fast. You have to be very fast. That is why it's just important for you to start putting down notes like that. And if you see the answer to the next question, if you hear the answer to the next question, quickly answer it. You understand? Do it till you get to the end. And when you're done, you have 10 minutes or so. Yeah, I think it's 10 minutes for you to go over your notes again. And it's at this stage that you start putting in, okay, this was the answer to this particular thing that I missed before. But you just have to be very smart from the beginning to try to answer it as it goes along. Try to answer it as it goes along. But if for a period of, like I said, 5-10 minutes, you've not heard anything, like any answer, try to put it down, like jot it down as a note. So that was what happened with that. We did our listening first. And I don't know why, but I think it was better anyways, because you're relaxed now. That freshness, your freshness is still there, so you need it for that listening. So after doing the listening, I think the next thing we went to was our reading. Yeah, we went to our reading. We did our reading, and the reading was a bit, should I say, a bit cheaper than what I used to practice with. But don't expect this. Don't expect it to be like that. It was cheaper than what I was practicing with before. But don't expect it to be like that for you. You don't know what you're expecting. So you just have to practice hard, because you don't want to be disappointed when you get there. Maybe because I was practicing with so much hard materials. I don't know, but it was kind of easier than what I was practicing with. Or maybe because I've been practicing, a lot, and I kind of feel, okay, I know this thing now. But it was easier for me than what I've been practicing with. And I just had to read this the paragraph by paragraph, got the answers out from it and answer it and went to the next. I had to make sure I read it over again, and I tried to use my time very well. Try to be fast during the first time I was answering, just so I could have enough time to go over it again and make sure it's the right answers that I chose for that particular thing. Because you want to have enough time for yourself. You want to have enough time at hand. You don't want to waste all the time, wasting time doing something relevant. At the end of the day, you don't have time to go over your answers again and all that. So that was what I did. I made sure I had enough time at the end of the day. Like, I even had excess time. Even after going through, I had time to sit down and wait till it was time for the writing. And after doing the reading, we did the writing. We did part 2 first before part 1 also. Yeah, we did part 2 before part 1. So writing part 2, we did that. And yeah, I would say I didn't do much of writing practice during my practice, like reading, studying time. So it was like the first time I was actually I did do writing before, but I didn't do it every day. I didn't do the practice every day because I don't like writing so much. I like writing, but not practicing every night, like writing the same thing over and over again. No, I like it to be flowing. Like what I've written before, I don't want to keep writing it again. That was why I didn't do much of writing practice. I did it, but I didn't do much of it. And I liked it the way I did it because that time I was in the hall. I did know the tips and the tricks of writing. I know that this is what I'm expecting. These are the vocabularies I must have for this particular topic. So when I was just writing it worked for me that I was writing it for the very first time, and it was smooth and it went very well for me. Did the part two, did the part one. It was just like you were telling a story because the question they asked was similar to you telling the childhood story. So I was just writing. It was sweet for me. I like writing, like I said, just that I don't like writing what I've written before. So that was why I didn't practice writing so much. And that was it for that. So after the writing part two, part one, we went home. It was the next day we came for our IELTS speaking test. Some centers do the two together the same day, like they do all of them together the same day. But we did our listening, reading, writing one day, and we did the speaking the next day. The next day was a Sunday. The day we did the reading, listening, and the writing was a Saturday. So we did the speaking on Sunday. So I went home and then came back the next day to do the speaking test, and it was online. So it was online. They give you a headset, and then they put you in a room, a very small room with the laptop. They did that because of the COVID. I don't know if that's what is still being done today, but I'm not sure. But they did that because it was COVID period then. That was June 2021, and there was no way the person could travel down, and they just wanted to curb infection, like reduce infection rate. So, and the person was a lady. My lecturer, what do I call it? Assessor was a lady, and she was at the other end of the phone, and network issue was a problem for us at some point. Like there was a time it just hooked, like we weren't able to communicate again for like 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes or 4 or 5. Like it was bad. I thought I was going to fail it because the network at that point was really tricky. It was tricky. And at the end of the day, it came back again and we rounded up. It was a very short session. It was a very short session. If it lasted more than 10 minutes, then it was a very short session. I think it was just like 10 minutes or so, or 15, 20. It was really, really short though. And after we did that, we went back home. They told us to go back home, that we'll hear from them. And it was after 12 days that the results came out, and I saw that I passed. And I was really happy and rolling over on the floor because, with all the events that happened, I didn't know that I was going to pass it. So that was it, and that was all. And that very day I wrote my is this the first day that I wrote my exam, they stole my phone. Yeah, they stole my phone. And so the next day when I was coming for reading, I wasn't having a phone again. Yeah, I wasn't having a phone again to practice. I had to just, yeah, that was it. And thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're here to. Please, I'm begging you, it's free of charge. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Very important for you to receive future updates. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.